Hey, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk. Who is this guy that's sitting to my right other than a good friend of mine and a Barnabas, if you guys have been following the podcast? This is, everybody, Ryan Pramberg.
Ooh.
The Ryan Pramberg.
Yep.
Like they're
Up there, just like Ohio State University,
Side note,
Miami.
this goes back to us. We have the same initials,
It is 100% sure.
RP, and both of our names are Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So
We
I
joined
think
a
the Lord
super
knew.
exclusive club.
The Lord knew right away, like, hey, this is going to be a good tandem.
Yep.
Whatever they end up doing together. Tell us what you do, and then we'll kind of get into, like, the stories of how we met and some other deep spiritual nuggets.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of them, everybody. He's got a lot. So,
Yeah, so I'm Ryan. I work in finance. I'm a financial advisor. So all day, every day, I help people give more, save more, pay less in taxes. Just walking them through those things and just helping them think through kind of both the behavior side of finance along with, well, what does this actually mean for me? Like, how do I do that? And so a lot of that ends up just being helping people give a thoughtful response of what do I actually want? So this year, Potter have helped, I think, 7 couples decide to have kids, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm a big fan. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to just go that path, let's go. What are we waiting for?
Yep.
Helped a lot of couples decide on moves, different houses, different places, different jobs, but also just want to be thoughtful of saying, what do we actually want in life? Because anymore, most people don't take the time to choose.
Yeah.
They just drift.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in a mean way. I say that in if I sit down with 100 couples, they're all going to say something like, oh, well, we want to travel. I'm like, yeah, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, where do you actually
Yeah.
want to go?
Yeah.
What do you actually want to do? Because most people don't have those things.
Yeah.
And so just sitting down with somebody to make some decisions and have them razz you a little bit, get a little in your face of like, what do you actually want to do? Who do you want to be?
Yep.
Is incredibly important. And so I like to just say I get to kind of pastor through the back door of talking about money.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's a little subversive,
Uh-huh. All right, so, wow, that's pretty extensive. I
Yeah.
like it. And I feel like that was very well said. It's like you've rehearsed this like numerous
I
times.
don't know if I rehearsed it. Every time is original.
That's true. That's true.
I know what I want to say and where I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've noticed that about you. So let's get into kind of where this all started, right?
Sure.
So Grace University.
Yeah, GU. May she rest
Yep.
in peace. Okay.
Yes. But lots of great relationships, great people.
Yeah.
I think both of us still stay in contact with
Mm-hmm.
a ton of people. So I was there as an athletic recruiter / I think I started off in like teacher ed because I had your wife.
Yep.
And I didn't have your wife, but like she was one of the students that I was like helping
So
with.
it was a colloquial
So
term.
we go
understood.
back. So we were just kind of joking like the other day because I was helping you guys with some housing stuff and moving, and I was like, man, I feel like it's probably been over a decade because I knew you guys before you got married.
Yep.
And so yeah, it was just like fun looking back and being like, wow, I can't believe, that I've known these people for
Yeah.
this
14
long.
years,
Yeah.
give or take.
So, Grace University, you brought up Assassin,
Yeah.
and would you mind explaining Assassin so people don't think that we're out there just like taking? I mean, technically, we were taking people out.
You were. It was great. I
But-
loved it. So when I was the student body president, I did that for a couple years. We were looking for something that we could do that would create just fun, but a little bit of randomness in the student body. And so my leadership team and we decided on a game called Assassin, where essentially we had everybody opt in. So like 300 students opted
Yep.
in.
Yep.
And anytime that you had a pair of socks that you could like assassinate the person in front of you, and then you would take the person that they were doing. So it was this giant killing circle of,
What a great idea.
it was amazing. It created so much deception and deceit. It was a terrible, it was great on paper, okay? It was so much fun though. But it was hilarious because all these people are trying to figure out who's in front of them, who's in front. So if I killed Potter, I'd take his name and go get the next person. But the staff wanted to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
So the staff at Grace is playing this game along with the students. And then there were some disputes,
Yep.
more so on the staff side than the student
Come on
side.
now.
And so I had to pretty consistently settle disputes between the staff of whether it was fair or not fair. So we had to add some rules, like you couldn't assassinate somebody during class,
Yep.
couldn't assassinate them during chapel. And then for the staff, we had to tell the other people that you couldn't kill each other while you're going to the bathroom. So
That's hilarious.
So you had that going for you. But it was a great game. They stopped doing it like 2 or 3 years after I left because they were like, it just created so much animosity. But it was the funniest thing for the 2 weeks that it went. And I think the winner got like a $200 cash prize. So it was like, you had to make the incentives work.
That's a lot of money when you're in college.
You're basically Warren Buffett. Okay. I bet you could do it at your own house. Just give the kids little dart guns, and then you'd be like, guys, we're going to play a game.
I think that would go too far with some of my kids.
That might be my gift to you.
You forget, you have all girls.
Yeah.
And I have 3 boys that are assassins. Like, literally, one of them is, like, we call him the Navy SEAL in our household because he's always, like, running around with a Nerf gun. And, like, my wife
Just
came
change the rules. Make him shoot farther away.
Dude.
Like, make him snipe people.
He does. He's got, like, this sniper gun that he got for a birthday present. And the other day, my wife's walking home, and she walks in the door. She took a picture. And he's, like, bent down on the couch, like, just staring straight at her through the door. In his little sniper, like, just getting ready to snipe her.
I love it.
Like, boys, man. Yeah. They destroy everything. Getting off topic. Yeah. So we need to get back on.
Tangent alert.
So we kind of talked about how our friendship kind of began, you know, with Assassin. Then, obviously, with me being on staff, getting to know you and stuff as the student body presidente. He's kind of a big deal, everybody. He's been a big deal for a long time. I know he doesn't want to say it, but... kind of developed that relationship. We hosted you because after Grace, right, we got into, you were doing what ministry?
Youth for Christ.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we hosted you guys over there at our place, I think a couple times.
Yep. Yeah, I was looking for an excuse to hang out with students and do something that I enjoyed. So I taught my students how to make a 5-course meal, and then their thesis was they had to cook it for all the volunteers. So all the volunteer leaders from all the ministry sites came over, and I had these 5 students cooking it. And so I did it at Potter's house because my house is tiny. And so did it in his basement. We had, 30 odd volunteers and spouses and, half a dozen students who were serving, and then their friends got to cook for them. So if I remember right, we did like a chicken piccata. We did like a really nice, salmon that we threw on there.
Yeah, it was
We threw in
good.
some beef, and then we had chocolate lava cake for dessert. But the students did all of it. So I was just kind of there cleaning up after them.
We got to just watch.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
It was super fun.
Yeah,
So,
it was.
worked out real well.
It was. I got a question here as we kind of go deep now.
Sure.
Is what do you appreciate most about each other? So I think we're actually saying, what do I appreciate most about this guy?
Perfect.
You know?
Just wanted to clarify. I've got a lot of people.
I mean, we could go a whole bunch of other ways with this, but I think, I don't know. I'll let you go first.
Sure.
And then I'll speak into you.
Perfect. No, I love giving encouragement as a general rule. I like to say that unexpressed gratitude is experienced as ingratitude by the people we're thankful for. And so my philosophy is essentially that the whole world is under encouraged because no one knows how to receive a compliment. If we were encouraged appropriately, we could receive compliments really well.
Yeah.
So unexpressed gratitude is experienced as ingratitude by the people we're most thankful for. So Potter, a couple things that I love about you is just tenacity to get after stuff. I know that you were really influenced by the book. What was it? Chop Wood, Carry Water.
Oh, yeah.
It was like
That's a good book.
a decade ago or so.
That's a shout out for a book right there.
Yeah.
Small read, but really good read.
Love that you just do that and you build community. You were so good at just building into the people under you. You were so good at being on top of your stuff as an agent. You were so good at really continuing to communicate proactively with people. And then you never saw people as dollar signs. You're networking and trying to create value wherever you go. And so that shows up in your entrepreneurial bent. Pickleball.
Yeah.
Just like, sure, I like this. Let me see if I can do something with it, right?
Yep.
Being able to do all the real estate side. And then I love people of excellence. And so anytime I find someone of excellence, that is someone I want to include in my circle because they draw the bar higher for everyone else.
Ooh,
so to
like
be
the
number 1 Berkshire Hathaway agent for many, many years, most units, more sales, like you've knocked down so many different things.
Yeah.
So the dozen or so people I've referred your way, I was like, it makes sense. Super easy. Like he's going to be in real estate long enough.
Yeah.
So hopefully I've made you about $100,000 at this point, just in commissions.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how do I follow that up? I mean,
You receive it.
that's true. I'll
Digest
receive
it.
that. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
I
There we go.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I would say even from day one, so I had a fun situation, I guess, or I would say role, because I was in like a leadership role from a staff point, like at Grace, right?
Sure.
And then got to just oversee like the body of all the kids, and
Mm-hmm.
I say kids, students.
They're
like
kids.
you
If
know,
you're older
I
than
mean,
somebody, you can call
yeah,
them a kid.
you know,
Anybody that's under 30, I'm like, you're a kid.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, okay, fair. So I think it wasn't very long before I figured out like this kid, this student, has a great way of interacting with other people, and not just like the students around you, but I saw that people respected you, people looked up to you, you had great leadership capabilities and skills at such a young, like I say young age, but like I would say maturity.
Sure.
I think is the word that like stood out to me, where I'm like, man, this student is very mature in the
Sure.
way that he leads, in the way that he loves other people, in the way that he is disciplined and gets all of these other things done, right? And so I think that's what stood out to me first. And so again, kind of like what you were saying, I was like, I want to spend more time with that guy.
Yeah.
Like I want to learn from him, because he's got this stuff figured out at such a young age that like I want to figure out like how did you like get to this point already, like in your life, you know, like who influenced you, who had that kind of hand on you as you got to college, and maybe you experienced that at college. I don't know, maybe that's a question that I want to get into a little bit, is just like as I look back and I think about that and when we first started, it's like, okay, yeah, I want to get around this guy, but I also want to learn more about like how did he get here at such a young age, and who had that influence in his life, and then what drove you or motivated you to accept that role,
Yeah.
and then just go with it.
Sure.
So I don't know. That's maybe a question that I didn't even have planned here, but
Sure. Off the cuff. I'd say, just like most people, we stand on the shoulders of giants. There's nobody, it's not like a self-made, like I just think those things are myths.
yeah,
They sound really good, but they're not reality.
yeah,
And so I got to watch my dad be a great influence. I had second and third dads at church and other sports parents. My parents did a really intentional job to create community. So even what we did every summer was we had a group that we called Raising the Modern Day Knights.
Yeah.
If that, shout out, really old book. Okay. And my dad and 7 other dads got together, and we always went on a camping trip, and we explored those things, and we did stuff together throughout the year. So we had like this very intentional community that was raising up to do those things.
yeah,
And then I also would say younger than average just got into the scriptures. So I started reading the scriptures every day at 14.
yeah,
I loved money. So I was like, every day that I don't read my Bible, I will give an extra $1 to the church.
ooh,
And then I just added up all the chapters of the Bible and divided it by 365. So I had to read 3 chapters a day, or I would give extra money to the church. And let me tell you, I did not give any extra money to the church. Like,
I love it.
that was my way of doing it. But it just started a habit. So
Yeah.
I could get, so
Yeah.
at 14, I started reading, read through the Bible in a year, and then just kept doing that. And I just think that the scriptures have a way of inviting you into greater maturity. Just like Shakespeare does. Shakespeare
Yeah.
will, if you read all of his plays, it incites different parts of your brain activity. I feel like Proverbs and Psalms and going through Chronicles and being able to have history greater than yourself,
Yeah,
that does all the work.
yep,
And so I had people that poured into me, my youth pastor that poured into me, but I also got opportunities to lead from a young age. So the first time I got to speak in front of my peers was 15,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
First time I got to teach in another country was 16. Like, there's just, when you get opportunities, you want to rise to the occasion. And so when I got to Grace, I actually was a little bit, I'm going to be honest, a little annoyed, because I
Yeah.
was like, I can just be one of many here.
yeah,
Like, everybody is the same as me. It's going to be awesome.
Nope.
And it was like,
nope,
that was not my reality. So
Yeah.
I had to go through this process over the course of about probably 12 months with the Lord to actually embrace, instead of kind of having this posture, if you
Yeah.
will, of kind of like, I'm a leader. Oh, whatever. I guess I'll accept responsibility, to kind of like head up, like, okay, eyes open,
Yeah.
heart clear. I will embrace this role that's been put in my life and move forward.
And that's what I would say, just to go off of, to end my question of what I appreciate about you.
Perfect.
You know, I think that was one thing that I definitely saw, was just like, I appreciate this guy is willing to take a stand and willing to lead. And even if no one follows, like, I don't care, because I know where I'm grounded.
Sure.
And I know where I'm headed. And especially in college, like, you don't see that in a lot of students, right?
Sure.
Like, they're usually college, and what you hear about everybody saying is like, oh, these are the 4 years where you figure out who you are, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, that's not what I saw in this guy. Like,
Yeah.
I saw in this guy early on that, like, he already knew who he was, he knew where he was going, and he was like, this is the direction I'm going. If anybody wants to follow me, you can come on board. If you don't, like, I don't care. And I saw a lot of that. Like, that was kind of the way that I thought, like, growing up too, was
Sure.
like, for so long it was, you know, you go through this phase of like, you're asking yourself that question, like, who am I and where am I going, right? And so you're like wrestling with that at an early age. I would say like middle school, high school, trying to figure that stuff out. But once you figure that out, then it's like, none of this stuff that anybody else says or is doing, like, really affects me, because I have a clear understanding of who I am, and I know where I'm going.
Yep.
And so, like, when I went off to college, it was like, I don't care if anybody, like, follows me. Like, I went to Hastings College. Honestly, this is a crazy story, just to, like, go on a tangent. But, like, my girlfriend at the time that I was dating in high school went to Hastings College, right?
Yeah, let's start with the actual reason.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
But
by the way, if people ever give 3 reasons, the third one is the actual reason. Okay.
Wow.
They go like this: 1, 2, 3. The third one's the real reason that has the most weight.
I'm getting there then. This is good. Okay, so the first reason really wasn't the real reason. But another big reason was, like, I came from a small town of like 3,000 people, Aurora, Nebraska. Shout out A-Town. But came from Aurora, and everybody was going to UNL, like in Lincoln. And I was like, I love my friends. I love what I've built here, but, like, I'm ready for change. And it was like, I don't want to follow the crowd and go to Lincoln. Like, I want to go somewhere else. And I remember just, like, people asking me, like, why Hastings College? Well, obviously, like, the girlfriend, right? But then it was also like, I just don't want to go where everybody else is going. Like, 70-80% of my class was going to Lincoln, whether it was like UNL or it was Nebraska Wesleyan. It was like, everybody's going there. And I was like, I need something new challenge, whatever. So I like that about you, in the sense of, you already knew, like, who I am. I'm in a leadership role, and I'm going to accept that. You wouldn't back down from that, but you were like, okay, I'm going to accept that. I've been raised to get to this point, and there's people here that need a leader, and I'm willing to lead.
Yep.
And I think there's some people, so humility would be one of those characteristics that I would obviously give. Like, you're probably one of the most humble people I've ever met.
Shout out.
Like, so, like,
just trying to be like Moses.
He doesn't like you don't, though. Like, you don't like the spotlight. You don't like getting recognition for stuff. And I tease you about that, like, all the time. Like, where I'm like, he's kind of a big deal, and you're like, no, really, I'm not. Like, but I think humility is a huge characteristic that, like, stood out for me too, with the whole leadership stuff. So accept it,
Appreciate it.
Receive it,
Received and blessed.
You know? Got it. We've kind of hit on this, but I think you can speak more into this. Is why is it so important for you to be around people that sharpen you?
I would probably say because we don't drift toward excellence. Excellence is it's a choice. And so you can't in any way just manufacture it. Like, you have to be around people that pull you up. And so there are individuals in my life that I would say pull me up.
Yeah.
There are individuals that I lift up, but I have to have somebody that's ahead of me that's helping do that. And so in my life, I actually like to think of it really strategically and surgically. I look for people that have things that I want, but it's in really specific areas. So who's somebody whose marriage I admire and I want to be more like, but I really hate their work ethic.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are people like that, right?
Yep.
Man, you love your wife so profoundly, but holy crap, I would not want you as an employee or a coworker.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for those individuals that I can say, they lift me up? Who are the people that are really great in business, but they've lost their way because their kids and their spouse hate them?
Yeah.
Who are the people
Yeah.
that are really great? So there's just different categories that I'm always trying to level up. How can I be good in many, many areas and keep leveling up? And if I'm an 8 somewhere, look for a 10
Yeah.
and just draw from their wisdom and their insights. And so we have to be around people that sharpen us because we don't just get there naturally. So like Friday I'm meeting with somebody. I'm like, you're a great parent. I'm entering the next stage of my parenting, which is how do I teach my kids internet safety, value creation? Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my 9-year-old to like plan our next family vacation, but she has to know how to use the internet well enough and avoid the ditches that are just the cesspool of that.
Yeah.
So how can I coach her into that?
That's good.
The same way that I'm going to coach my 7-year-old of like, no, these are now your responsibilities. Right. And
Yeah.
so meeting with somebody on Friday at 6 a.m. Okay. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But Nate's the greatest person that I know.
Hey,
that
shout out Nate.
Nate McGranahan.
Nate McGranahan. I love you, Nate McGranahan.
Yeah, and I
He's a
knew
good
you
dude.
know him.
Yeah. I'll end on this and move into the next topic, but I think one thing that I've picked up from you that I appreciate about you and that I learn from you constantly is like intentionality. You're very intentional with, like you said, who you meet with, who are the people in my life that like I want to go learn from, and
Yeah.
who are the people that I can kind of bring up and raise up and help through maybe some of those difficult situations. But I've learned a lot from you as far as just being more intentional, whether that's with my family and my kids, which we'll get into here in a little bit, but like even just friends, family, clients, whatever.
Yeah.
You're very good at, okay, I'm going to go meet with this person for like 30, 45 minutes or an hour, whatever it is, but I'm going to be very intentional with that time,
Yep.
right? So like he's a guy that turns off his phone. Like you're not one of those guys when we meet for coffee or anything like that where like you set your phone on the table next to you and if it like flashes or rings or, hey, 1 second, I got to get, like,
Sure.
I hate that because
do people do that?
all the time.
Okay, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, like, and I hate it so much because it's like, man, you're ruining the intentional time that we have
Yeah.
like together. And I get like sometimes it's like, hey, there's this thing going on at home or whatever, so I have to keep it close by. But like for the most part, it's like give up that 30, 45 minutes and
Sure.
be intentional with that person.
Yeah.
Like figure out what's going on in their life. How can you be praying for them? What can you offer them? Like how can you serve them? You know, like those types of things I think is very important nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially. And so I appreciate that about you a lot
good.
because I feel like every time we do get together, it's very intentional.
Sure.
So, okay, let's move on to another thing. Who are you when no one's watching? This is something to think about, but like topics to we've kind of covered some of these, right? But I think this is a challenge for all of us. Like it's easy, especially today and social media, for I think a lot of people to be like, hey, here's who this person is, right? They give off this like false identity,
Sure.
right? Or like they're doing all these things on social media for like a following, clicks, whatever the case is. Like, but who are you when no one's watching? Like, can you maybe go into that a little bit as far as like, who's Ryan at home? You know, like who's Ryan when he's got like time to himself and what's
Sure.
that look like? And what's most important to you when no one's watching?
Sure. I can use last week. So 2 weeks ago, my wife took my kids to grandparents week. So
Yeah.
they get away. So I had time to myself. I went to a movie with a friend. I read some books. I went on 3 long walks because I didn't have a time limit. So I could
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Where I just walk. And I actually prefer walking without technology. So I might have a phone in my pocket or something, but it's like the phrase run naked, I learned very quickly meant half clothes. But like if I'm going on a run or doing things,
Yeah.
you have to have space for boredom.
Mm.
You have to have space for thinking.
Yeah.
You have to have space to process or else you don't get any.
Yeah.
And your phone and screens will short circuit that.
Yeah.
So I am pretty similar. I mean, I'm just me.
Yeah.
But like I get home from work and my phone gets set on the table and then I don't really touch it until 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I scroll just like I can scroll with the best of them. But like if I get 2 hours with my kids and my wife that are really thoughtful, like I want to make the most of those,
Yeah.
right? I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah.
But like my kids get the best of me. But it also means that when you do that really well, you don't burn out,
Yeah.
because most burnout is anxiety from not doing what you should do.
Oh, that's
So
good. Yeah.
if you're just going to actually do the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
So even this weekend, it's like, okay, I'm at this event with my daughter. She's doing gymnastics. I'm on my computer planning a trip for the family. I ordered 8 tires at Costco. And then I did 5 things on my web design company. And that was the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I also read part of Charlie Munger's book.
There we go.
Like, that's a nice little microcosm of what it is. But it's, everybody wastes time. I waste time too. I just try not to.
I think that's really hard. Like when I think about that, it's like there are numerous times where I like drive in my car with no music or anything on, because it just allows me to like drive and think. And I've learned, especially with everything that's going on in my life, that like there's got to be times where it's just silent, right? Like where the Lord can speak to me. And a lot of times I'll even ask my wife or others that are close to me, I'm like, in a world full of chaos, like where everything's constantly pulling at us and there's noise everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, how do you and when do you allow yourself to hear the voice of God amongst the chaos, right? Like, so I love how you said, like, I'll go on walks with no technology, and my phone might be in my pocket, but like my earbuds aren't in, I'm not listening to music, like, because I think we've lost that as a society, where it's like, when are you actually giving yourself time to like hear the voice of God and hear God speak into your life? Like, I'll hear people say all the time, like, well, like, what does it mean for you to like, do you audibly hear like the voice of God, And it's like, there have been times where I felt like I've heard a whisper, and then I take that back to scripture and prayer, and I'm like, was that you, Lord, that was speaking this specifically to me or whatever? And there's times where it's like the Lord, like, I'll give an example. So like we went to the DR, like Dominican Republic, like last year. It was a men's group, and we were hiking a mountain. We got up to the top of the mountain, and we all spread out. And we were on top of this mountain, and I just stood by a tree, and I was just like, all right, Lord, like I'm overlooking this beautiful valley. I'm on top of this mountain, and I'm like, what is it that you want to say to me right now? And I just sat there in silence and just looked out at the mountain or whatever, and I felt like the Lord said very clearly, where he was like, Ryan, I just want you to be still. Like, just be still. And like that, in that time of my life, it was like, dude, I just felt like I'm constantly going, right? And I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do next? I got this. And it was like, I just want you to be still. Like, how can you hear my voice if you're never still? And I was like, okay. Noted. It was like, I need to be still more. And so I've tried to do a better job of like finding those still moments like in my life. And there's been times where I wake up like super early in the morning, and I like go spend some time on the Word or just in prayer, or like I might even go just sit in silence, you know. But I think just making that a priority, right, is important. And so yeah, I would say, like, who are you when no one's looking? I mean, I would like to say that, like, when no one's looking, or when people are looking, like, I want them to know that, like, I love the Lord first and foremost, and I love people. Yep. And so, like, hopefully that's what people see, But, like, I know that's not always the case, and I know I'm not the greatest husband or father or friend or whatever. Every once in a while, like, we're not perfect, right? But like, that's the focus, right? Sure. So moving into that fatherhood, because we've had a lot of these discussions, this is what I'm excited about, is the fatherhood, because I feel like I really appreciate some of you've challenged me a lot, and you don't even know it. Like, in some of these areas, and one of those things was, we were just talking recently, and you said, I think I asked you the question, like, because we both have the same amount of kids. Yeah. We have 4 kids. Quattro. I asked you the question, like, how do you balance time and give every kid equal opportunity, right? Like, it seems really hard to do sometimes. And you responded, I don't know if you remember this, but you're like, I try to give every kid 15 minutes every day. Intentional, like, one-on-one, daddy-daughter, like, 15 minutes, each one of my kids, And I just remember like walking away and driving home from that being like, man, that's like really good. Like 15 minutes
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a long time, but it's like when you really think about it, there are times where we have an hour or 2 hours with our kids before they go down to bed
Yep.
after we get home from work, right?
Yep.
So being intentional,
Yep.
again, of I want to give my kids at least they get one-on-one, like, and I saw that in like true motion when I like randomly showed up to your house and like
Yep.
he's in the backyard jumping on the trampoline and he's like interacting with Kaylee and his other
Yep.
and then I was like, oh, dad's back here just jumping on the trampoline,
100%.
hanging out with his girls, and I don't know, it made my heart smile. But
Good.
can you kind of speak into that more too, of just like being present with your kids, but like where did you get these things in? Did you notice early on, or did you already know like, hey, when I have kids, I'm going to be like, this is the kind of dad I'm going to be, or how did that evolve?
Yeah, there's like 4 questions there. I think I'd start with the first one of just like being with your kids, being intentional. Like when I think of the difference between me and like I'm tired or any excuse, I just think it's a BS excuse.
Yeah, that's good.
Like I just don't think like that just doesn't fly with me because I'm like, oh, I don't want to.
Yeah,
But like there are other things you don't want to do. When you just start doing them, you start enjoying them.
Yeah.
So even like that day, like, I don't really want to jump, but I will.
yeah, yeah,
Like when you just lean into it, you start enjoying yourself. And there are days, like 2 weeks ago, man, I don't even remember what happened. I think my kids, I'm the favorite at night, so all my kids wake
Yep.
me up. So I think there was a night that Savannah, Brooklyn, and Harper all woke me up, wanted to be rocked back to sleep, and I'm like, I'm not interested. So the game we played bear on the floor. And you know what that was, Potter? That was me under a blanket hibernating.
I love it.
And they jumped on top of me, and Brooklyn came up and smacked me in the face. And I had to say, like, we don't punch people. That kind of hurt, but it's okay. We're playing bear. So, like, the bear just kind of lazily grabbed it. But, like, when you lean into it, you create memories.
Yeah.
You create fun. You create whimsy. So how do we actually embrace that and make more of it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then with our kids, trying to get 15 good minutes, like Socrates in Nicomachean Ethics,
Yeah.
he actually spells out for us the 3 levels of friendship, right? Level 1 is going to be, hey, how do I scratch your back because you scratch mine? But nobody trusts,
Yeah.
right? Level 2 is common interests. Oh, we both like Nebraska football, and we really talk about that. And you have friends like that, right?
Yep.
But level 3, he talks about as friends of the good, right? The Greek arete. And it's trying to say, like, how do I find these people? Because your conversations are your friendships.
Yeah.
So if you want to have better friendships, you have to have better conversations. So with my kids, I'm trying to draw them forward to say, Kaylee, what does it look like for you to be great? So yesterday we were talking about somebody that was trying to manipulate her. And we were pointing it out. Hey, that's actually manipulation. She's trying to use guilt and shame to get you to do what she wants. Now, I don't think she, like this
Intentionally,
9-year-old,
yeah.
is intentionally doing that.
Yeah.
But we're bringing them up to adult-like conversations with kid words,
Yeah.
right? Because we want to help them to grow to be people that add value in the world
Yep.
and people that know how to interact in an unknown world and adapt to it,
Yep.
right? And so even that 15 minutes, it's like, how do I pay attention to you? How do I keep my eyes on you? So something that we did for about a year was every night before we went to bed, we gave our kids 2 intentional things that we love that they did. 2 intentional ways that they were developing character. 2 intentional ways that we saw integrity. 2 intentional ways that we had fun with them. Because it forces you to pay attention and it forces
Yeah.
you to be grateful for them. But that's 8 things. And then when I throw my wife, that's 10 things a day that I have to say, I had this moment with you that was beautiful and I want to bring it to the surface. And that automatically creates vulnerability. It automatically creates humility.
Yeah.
It automatically creates encouragement.
Yeah.
Like we want our kids to be over encouraged so that when I discipline them, because I tell my kids, you're either going to be disciplined or get disciplined. You choose.
Yeah.
Then they have chosen that thing that I am helping correct and build into them.
Did you guys just hear that?
That's a bar.
That was really good. Like, you are either gonna be disciplined or get disciplined. Like,
So
dude,
every
I'm gonna
time
start
they do
using that
that,
with my boys.
that's a choice. So my
Yeah.
Savannah last night, Savannah, I pulled her face. You have 5 minutes to get the snack that you want, or you will not get one. When I am done doing the dishes and cleaning the kitchen, The expectation is we've moved on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she made a choice. And then she got to suffer the natural consequences of that choice.
Yep.
That's not good or bad. That's me showing her that I will not rescue you all the time when you make a bad choice.
Yeah.
And we need some of that.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
you want to raise kids that are actually anti-fragile,
Yep.
you have to have moments that they can build character. You
Yep.
can't rescue them from everything.
Amen to that. Like, and that's funny because it's like the same conversation I literally had with 3 of my boys last night.
100%.
Like I got out a rope
Yep.
and I said, okay, boys, like, here's the deal. I said, right now, you hold one end of the rope and I'm going to hold the other. And I said, this is how much rope and how much length I want to give you guys and freedom
Yeah.
in your life. But unfortunately, when you make bad choices, I'm taking back some of that rope.
Sure.
And I'm going to keep taking it back. And if I eventually get to the end of that rope with you, where our hands are like this, right? I said, there's probably some natural consequences that are going to take place.
100%.
And that means that in order to get some of that rope back, you're going to have to earn that trust back.
Yeah.
And I literally had my 7-year-old, my 9-year-old, and my 12-year-old,
Yep.
all 3 boys, sitting there. And I'm like, do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know? And all of them were like, yes, Dad. And I was like, okay, Ben, who's my 7-year-old, you know, I'm like, tell me what you think Dad just said.
Sure.
You know, because I wanted to make sure that he understood what this. So I was like, when you ask me moving forward in life,
Yep.
Dad, how much rope do I have?
Yep.
You're going to know what that means.
Yep.
Right? So if you've broken my trust or you've disobeyed,
Yep.
so I asked them, I was like, what are things that you think would make Dad take some of that rope back?
Yep.
You know, and I said, Ben, I'm starting with you because I wanted to start with the youngest. And he's like, if we disrespect you.
Yep.
Or Mom. And I said, that's correct.
Yep.
So if you disrespect me or Mom, like, you're going to get some of that rope taken away.
Yep.
Drew, you know, my middle child, like, what do you think is one of those things that will, if you ask us to do something more than once,
Sure.
and I go, okay, that's good, but I said, what is that? Like, if I ask you to do something more than once and it's been 5 or 6 times, what are you doing?
Yep.
And he was like, disobeying.
Yep.
And I said, yes. So disobeying Mom or Dad is going to get you less rope.
Yep.
Right? And he's like, yes. And then I went to Luke and I said, okay, what's something that you think will happen there, you know? And he was like, if we don't do our chores.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, that's good. Like, if you don't do your chores, or, you know, like, you're 12, right? And so if I see you interacting with some other kid where you're, like, bullying them, or you've said something mean, or you've picked on them, like, you're going to lose some rope for that.
Sure.
You know? And I think light bulbs started going off for them
Yeah.
as far as, like, okay, this is how it works.
Yeah, we've got to make it physical.
Yeah.
Like kids are concrete.
Yep.
Their psychological stage is a concrete emotional stage.
Yeah.
You have to make it real.
Yep.
But I also go back to my wife and I as parents. When we are not seeing the results we want from our kids, we assume it's our fault
Yeah.
because we haven't trained them well enough.
No, it's sin.
I would still go ahead and put the responsibility on me. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to
agree.
instruct you, but just
Yeah.
like staff that are beneath me.
Yep.
If they're not doing what I expect of them, it's probably my fault for unclear expectations, unclear coaching, not actually spending enough time with them to do that.
Yeah.
Because once you do it, it's as hard today as it's ever going to be, and every day moving forward, it only gets easier.
Yeah.
So if
I
I can
agree.
get my kids to do the things they need to do the first time, right away, it's simple,
Yep.
right? But we even say things like, every mess is a choice, right? You need to be picking up the things that you're responsible for. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty simple. It's just not easy.
Yeah.
And
I
so when we
agree.
make it simple, but it's not easy, well, that's where discipline comes in.
Yep. All right. One last thing as it deals with fatherhood, family. I hear people, this is a question that I feel like a lot of people ask, especially entrepreneurs, people that are working all the time, right? Like people like us that constantly go. The question is like, how do you balance work and family?
Sure.
Like, is that even a thing? Or is
Sure.
it something we try to just say, you know, like, oh, I need to do a better job of like balancing work and family. Like, what does that mean and what does that even look like?
So I actually think that it's a false dichotomy,
Yeah.
number one. And number two, it's because people aren't clear with what they actually want. just like we talked about at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And part of that is when you get a lack of clarity, you have a lack of what needs to be done because you don't set your own boundaries.
Yeah.
And you don't set what happens and when it happens. So, for example, I only work like 45 hours a week,
Yeah.
but they are a righteous, get stuff done,
Yep.
like
Disciplined,
disciplined,
intentional.
hyper productive,
Yep.
and then I check out.
Yep.
Like, I have brought my computer home from work 3 times this year.
That's impressive.
The problem can stay till tomorrow because I know I'm going to take care of it and get it done. And again, most anxiety is not actually acting on the things that you need to act on.
Yeah.
So I just think it doesn't actually make sense because when I say I want to work 45 hours a week, get everything done, what do I need to do to make that happen?
Yeah.
You start getting more creative because your constraints
Yep.
are actually your freedom.
Yep.
And so when you get really clear on the constraints, it makes it obvious what needs to be done. Oh, I can't dink around. I can't do this. So like, am I on Facebook or Twitter or X or whatever things are called? Like, probably less than 20 minutes a week.
Yeah.
During the workday.
Yeah.
My free time is my free time. I can
Yeah.
decide how
Yeah.
I want to spend that. But the reality is like, on average, I hold 18 meetings a week with clients.
Yeah.
I have 7 internal meetings. So I have essentially 12 hours to get everything done. And I do.
Yeah.
Like I just, in some ways, I'm kind of like, I don't see what's hard because when you embrace the constraint, everything else comes easy. Most people fight against the constraints that they've created, and that's what actually creates their issues.
Yeah.
Because they're unwilling to accept and almost to surrender to the constraint,
Yeah.
right?
That's good.
It's the same way with Jesus. If you just surrender to what he asks of you, it's actually pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'll
Yeah.
do this. I'll look like an idiot. I'll say this. I'll have this conversation. I'll do that. But like, it takes the surrender.
Yeah.
And the surrender is the pathway. It is the avenue to life because obedience is most often expressed in surrender,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's good.
Or faith is most often expressed in obedience through surrender.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, when I just lean into this, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. So good.
Simple, not easy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, at least for me, like when people ask that question, I'm like, there's no such thing as true like family work balance. Like like you said, you work 40 to 50 hours a week, right? And it's like, well, I'm not, time does not allow me to spend 40 to 50 hours a week with my wife and kids. So like, it's
Breaks
impossible.
down pretty much immediately.
Yeah, you're like, as far as like a number standpoint, it's impossible, right?
And just like a good workout takes 45 minutes if
Yeah.
you do it really well. So embrace it,
Yeah.
do it. But no one's ever been like, oh, I need to work 8 hours a day. I'm like, you don't.
Yeah.
Just like I can be intentional with my kids to say, how do I get 15 great minutes a day? And then how do I have great time with my wife when the kids are in bed?
Yep.
When you're intentional with it, you
Absolutely.
look for opportunities. Your reticular activating system does the
Yep.
work for you, Potter.
This is why I do the podcast, right? Like, people have heard me say life on life,
Sure.
right? Like, this is life on life. Like, this is you and I. This is us out in all of our other relationships with people, right?
Sure.
Like, hey, we are doing life on life together, whether we're talking about business,
Yep.
our faith, our family, all that kind of stuff. When you think about life on life, and you think about the importance of that, like, I would love to hear your definition of how important, I shouldn't say definition, but like,
Yep.
how important is life on life for you compared to, like, I guess all of the other stuff around you? Like, or does that encompass like everything about
I think
you?
it more just encompasses it. Like, vulnerability is the lifeblood of good relationships and good conversations.
Yeah.
And so if you embrace that, you're almost always walking in humility towards other people because you have to own your junk.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean everybody gets all of your stuff? Well, no, everybody knows what wisdom is.
Yeah.
But when you can walk in the light there, that actually creates more, just like if you want to go business sense, virtuous cycles. Because you're not self-protecting, you're not self-promoting. People know that you are what you get, but also you can be wise in that to give shrewdness and just kind of just move forward. And so if I can be, like I've often said it like this, I've had like 3 lifelong goals, right? One is I want a marriage that inspires other people to get married. The way that I actually say that is I want a top 1% marriage in the world.
Yep.
I want people to look at my marriage and say, I didn't know marriage could be that good,
Yeah.
right? 2 is if wealth was measured in deep friendships, I want to be the richest person in the world.
Woo.
because we have to reorient
That's
ourselves
good.
because money is a really, really easy bar and benchmark because it's countable, storable, fungible power. And that's why people go for it, because it's a game
Yeah.
they can play and they can track. But when you say, if I was the richest person in the world because I had the deepest friendships, that forces you to respond differently.
We're going to go deeper into that at some point.
Another time.
Yeah.
And the third was I just want to give away money like my grandpa did. So I have goals of how much money I want to give away in my lifetime because I want to reap the benefit of that. I don't want to just give it away when I die. And so I walk toward these three things with intentionality. And if they need to change at some point, I'm open to that.
Yeah.
But like when we are walking in the light with other people, it automatically defeats the darkness. And most people walk in darkness because they don't walk in the light with anyone else.
Yeah. It's good. Well, I've got way more stuff I want to cover with you. So
Another time.
I think we're going to go another time. It's okay to do a part 2, or even a part 3.
Maybe just make it a series.
Yeah, maybe we just make it a series, because I think we got a lot more stuff here to cover, and we will be bringing that to everyone.
Love it.
So thank you for your time today.
Thank you. If you made it to the end, wow.
Wow,
That's a lot.
I'm impressed.
I don't know if I'd
thanks for
watch
listening.
myself to the end, so I appreciate you doing it.
That's hilarious. But with that, you guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the podcast, and I hope this was encouraging to you. Ryan Pramberg, shout out. Thank you so much. We will have you back on soon.
Glad to be here.